Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching and truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled Nuclear Attack, Worst Case Scenario for Americans. My source, Newsweek, article entitled Nuclear Attack, Worst Case Scenario would see 90% of Americans wiped out, published on 11/14, 2023. As if nuclear strikes on U.S. cities weren't potentially damaging enough, an attack on Americans' missile silos would kill millions due to acute radiation poisoning in a matter of days and spread radioactive fallout across the country, new modeling suggests. A study published by Scientific American on Tuesday found that if the strategic launch bases were hit, most of the Midwest would be bathed in a more than lethal dose of radiation, with a worst case scenario seeing most of the U.S. and Canada becoming uninhabitable. Researchers at Princeton University's program on science and global security estimate that in the first 4 days after the silos were struck, between 340,000 and 4.6 million people would die, though the average death toll would be 1.4 million. They predicted that 300 million people would be at risk of a fatal dose of fallout. Okay, let's focus on this part. A study published by Scientific American on Tuesday found that if the strategic launch bases were hit, most of the Midwest would be bathed in a more than lethal dose of radiation, with a worst case scenario seeing most of the U.S. and Canada becoming uninhabitable. Now, this is false. The worst case scenario for Americans is what? Anybody, okay, outside of the elect of Israel will be destroyed once nuclear missiles are fired on this place. Okay, let's get the scriptures to prove that. Revelation 18:1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. America is modern day Babylon. Is fallen and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Now, what would desolate America into this state? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9 in verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, okay, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. This is going into WW3, okay, which will be at the end a nuclear war, okay. Let's go back to Salakia. Let's go to Revelation chapter 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe, WW3, come quickly, and it entails America fully being destroyed. Okay? America will fully be destroyed. And the scriptures support my claim. Because through the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua, my claim comes from the scriptures. Again, verse 2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, or America, the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So the new tenants of America, after America is destroyed, is what? These unclean Salakim, these unclean animals. Okay? And we will get to that too. So let's jump down. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, the elect of Israel, modern day Negroes, modern day Hispanics, and modern day Native Americans, beginning with the 144,000, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. What plagues? Nuclear destruction. Okay? Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. So what is that article talking about? This article is saying that 90% of Americans wiped out. No, the scripture states 100% of Americans will be wiped out. 100, all. Okay? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is your judgment come. So America will be destroyed within 1 hour. Joel 2:1, blow you the trumpets in Zion, and that's what the prophets are doing, beginning with the apostles of Great Millstone at this time frame. And sound an alarm in my holy mountain. The holy mountain is Israel, okay? And we're speaking to the elect. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh comes, for it is near at hand. And guess what? When we prophesy, right, these other nations has to know their future as well, their judgment as well, right? Verse 2, a day of darkness and a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread on the mountains, a great people, these missiles, okay, these nuclear missiles, and a strong, there has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it. Okay, so these missiles were created for one purpose: the destruction of America, even to the years of many generations. And also, Israel will be destroyed. However, Israel will be rebuilt. Okay. A fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burn. Now this is talking about these missiles, okay? The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. So America will be perfectly intact prior to these missiles arriving. And once these missiles touch down in America, guess what? America will be utterly destroyed, 100% wiped out. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. And that's point blank, period. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34 and 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Right? So this is talking about once these missiles touch down in America, a mushroom cloud will formulate. Okay? And all their hosts shall fall down, and the leaf fall off, as the leaf falls off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, meaning what? That these missiles will saturate or cover the sky. Behold, it shall come down on Adumia, okay, which is Edom, okay, and on the people of my curse to judgment, and the people of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh curses the Edomites, modern day white people based on the lineage of their fathers. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh has a sacrifice in Basra. America is modern day Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. America is the land of Idumea. Okay, so let's keep going. Jump down to verse 9. Let me start at 8. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses, which means payback, for the controversy of Zion. All right, Israelites, Israel, beginning with the elect. And the streams therefore shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. So this is saying what? That America will be completely destroyed, and no one will live in America ever, ever, and ever again. Okay? Now, the new tenants of America will be what? Verse 11. But the cormorants and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out on it the land of confusion and the stones of emptiness. So at this time frame, if you have a map, you can see where Mississippi is, where Alabama is, where Louisiana is, so on and so forth. But after this nuclear event, okay, America will look like an entire desert. You will not be able to see where Mississippi once was, and Louisiana once was, and Alabama once was, and Tennessee once was, and Kentucky once was, and Illinois once was. Okay? They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And the thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles, Salakia, in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons, and a court of owls, for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, and one with her mate. And that's the point. So America will be destroyed. And according to the scriptures, right, this research is false. Nuclear attack, worst case scenario, would see 90% of Americans wiped out. No, 100% of Americans wiped out. And according to the scriptures, America will be uninhabitable. Okay? Lord will, you edify. Shalom.